Hey, I'd like to welcome you to another episode of Mission Matters. My name is Adam Torres, and if you'd like to apply to be a guest on the show, just head on over to missionmatters.com and click on Be Our Guest to apply. All right, today I have Grace McGill on the line, and she is the Capital Formation Lead over at Marlin Spike Partners. And this episode is part of our iConnections New York series, where we bring you the best of those who attended and participated in iConnections that took place over in New York, the Global Alts Conference. Grace, welcome to the show.
Hi, Adam. Thanks so much for having me today.
All right. So we got a lot to talk about today. Loved your topic. Love your angle. Choosing the right partners and knowing when to walk away. So a great topic, one I'm happy to get into. But before we do that, iConnections New York, the Global Alts. Talk to me. I know you were there. What's the connection? How'd you get started with iConnections? Have you been in the past? Give me some of the background, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, wonderful event. I guess to kind of go back in time, my initial introduction to them was through a prior role, doing capital formation for a private credit firm. And we were very, very vigilant about going to the events because they were impactful for us. And I found the same to be true down in Miami, iConnections, earlier this year, in New York just a few weeks ago.
Amazing. And so you've been part of the community for a bit now. You've been to multiple events. I was the Miami one too. Amazing. It was great as well. Huge. What keeps you coming back? Why is this so significant? Why does this need to be on your calendar?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a great question. I think the intentionality of the partners coming to the table certainly is the key driver. They're there to have a meaningful conversation. They are legitimately looking at the market, and it seems that they're very intentional about the way that they conduct these conversations, which is a huge bang for the buck in terms of being a capital formation executive, bringing our CEO or CIO alongside. So certainly the value of having that intentionality with the partners sitting across the table, I'd say, is the main thing that brings me there time and time again.
Yeah, it's pretty efficient too. Just to be able to meet with that many people in one room, or in this case, obviously the beautiful venue, but in the Glass House in New York, it was a nice setup. I was like, oh, this is good, and everybody's right here. It's you get things done. A little fun fact that you may or may not know, Grace. I'm gonna throw this one out there. So I did an interview with Ron, that's the CEO of iConnections, for everybody that's listening, and that's not the fun fact. That'll be coming out pretty soon. But here's the fun fact. I didn't know this. So the app, I'm so impressed by it, first off, and all the work they're doing. But they even go down to when they're scheduling those meetings and helping all the partners schedule meetings. There's an algorithm that tries to get them as close as possible to cut down steps on walking, even though it's a closed thing. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my gosh, I was wondering that. I thought that was pretty good. I was wondering if that was intentional. So they continue to blow me away.
If you were my next meeting's 10 feet away, that's by intention. And crazy, right?
Here I was thinking I was just the luckiest person of all time. That's great.
I'm sorry, Grace. No. That was just you. I'm sorry, Grace. Mom. I'm sorry.
No, that's even better.
Oh, amazing. Well, let's get further into the topic. So choosing the right partners. First off, how'd you get into this business? You mentioned a prior role, but just in general, what led you on this path?
So I would say, as true to the topic of this conversation, I've really found a passion in finding the right partners and really connecting them to strategies I believe in. So my prior role was at a private credit fund, as I mentioned, really believed in the team, believed in the platform and what they were doing, and knew that it would deliver solid returns for investors. So I felt very good about bringing folks that I appreciated as long-term partners to the table there. And then it kind of took the mission, the passion I feel towards the strategy a step further with Marlin Spike, because my dad was first boots in Desert Storm, and I remember he talked about how terrible the equipment was that they had when they were actually in harm's way serving our country. So being a part of a strategy that goes directly after that problem is something that I find to be incredibly fulfilling. So it's been a real treat to join a team that focuses on the warfighter and is supporting brilliant minds and, frankly, the people with the gall to go after these hard problems.
Yeah. Let's go further down that line. Marlin Spike Partners, maybe tell us a little bit more about the firm. That's helpful. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. So Marlin Spike is a veteran-led firm, and they are a venture capital firm. And that heritage matters because it shapes how we see the work. Yeah. We invest in dual use, So defense technology with commercial applications. So they're building, the companies that we back are building capabilities that matter for national security, and they have genuine commercial markets. So they're not dependent on any single customer or program to succeed. What really unites them is the hard problems they are addressing, and then the vigor to take on the challenge of doing so, all of which is at its core serving the end user of the warfighter.
Wow. And so relating that back to the overall topic, it seems to me like choosing the right partners with and working with the right ecosystem of these entrepreneurs and otherwise, like that's it brings another level of, I don't know, responsibility on all sides. Would you say I'm off or on that? Like why does that matter?
You are right on the money, Adam. I would totally agree. About important. The capital behind these companies and what we're doing can't be impatient, and it has to be very, very truly committed to what we're doing in the mission. And it has to be aligned at a level that goes beyond the financials. So my job is really not transactional. It's about assembling a base of investors who understand what we're building and who will understand it when the markets get noisy or timeline slips or, frankly, things get hard. And that's the part I find genuinely interesting. And it's what I'm excited to dig into today.
Yeah, and I want to explore kind of both sides of this. So that's one end. That's the people that are investing into the fund. And it is a fund, right? I caught that right. Is that right? Yeah.
That's correct.
Okay. So that's one side of it. I'm curious on the other side, too, from the companies that you choose to work with. That has to be a different type of relationship, too, yeah?
Absolutely. I think one thing that sets Marlin Spike Partners apart is the way that we like to get involved with our companies and our founders. I think while we never know exactly what others are doing, I can say from what I've seen on our own team that they are really, really active in the way that they like to manage portfolio operations, meaning they like to take an active approach. Even though we are a mortgage holder for a company, we will punch above our weight in terms of helping them, introducing them across the ecosystem, and the folks that we are backing are people who we see as being first and foremost committed to the mission. Then they have to be competent. They have to be willing to come back day in, day out, and willing to tackle these hard challenges. So the people we're backing, I'd say, is the number one thing that we're looking for, is them having that rare substance of character and ability.
Yeah. And speaking of the other side of the coin of what we were just talking about, the investment side, have you ever walked away from money? I mean, I know that's some of the hardest things to do when you're raising funds and doing other things. Like why would that matter if you have?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's something I think is important to speak to, and something that's been really formative in my career and at Marlin Spike in particular. I want to be honest that one time when we did walk away, it was early and it was hard. And that's what makes the lesson real. We had a commitment on the table at a stage when we genuinely needed it. On paper, it would have moved the firm. On paper, it would have moved the firm forward in a meaningful way. And there's a version of me that could have rationalized taking it. The math was tempting, but across several conversations, something kept not sitting right. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't hostile. It was a quieter thing. The more we talked, the clearer it became that what the person wanted and what we were building were just not aligned. Different ideas of what the relationship would be was kind of what I was afraid of. And I remember the moment it kind of crystallized for me, realizing that if we took this, I wouldn't be managing an investment or commitment. I'd be managing a misalignment every quarter, every month, every day for 10 years. Every meaningful decision would carry a little gravitational pull towards what they expected rather than what we believed was right. So we walked away. And the lesson, the one I carry into every conversation now, is that the moment you compromise on partner quality because you need the money, you've quietly changed what your fund actually is. You think you're just accepting capital. You're actually casting a vote for the kind of firm you're going to be. Because a misaligned investor doesn't sit politely on the sidelines. Over time, they shape how you behave under pressure, since you're always a little bit aware of what they want and what they'll say. They become a voice in the room whether you invited them or not. So what it taught me beyond the principle was a kind of confidence. We survived saying no to something we needed at the time. And the firm we became on the other side of that decision was stronger and clearer for it. So now when I'm evaluating an investor and something feels off, I don't override the instinct. That early experience earned the instinct its credibility, and I genuinely rather close a fund more slowly with the right people than quickly with the wrong ones. So it's not a slogan for us. It's a decision we've actually made with real money on the line and never regretted.
Wow, that's amazing. How do you deal flow in this space? I'm not familiar. I mean, I've interviewed quite a few VCs in different funds and other things like that. Like, talk to me about how deal flow works in this side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the things I would like to speak to on this topic is the talent flywheel of Southern California.
Like
which
that
is
term, by the way, talent flywheel of Southern California. Go ahead, Grace. I like that.
It's something. It's something I was not familiar with prior to joining Marlin Spike, but it is the most unbelievable ecosystem.
Yes.
And I would say these bright young men and women coming out of the space sexes of the world. That's rather timely given timing of this conversation. But the Andurils, these really transformative companies, they're going on and taking on problems that they see as being fundamentally important and that they have the capability to address. So you see all of these companies, and I have to give a shout out to Eric Streibel. He's a commercial real estate broker. Actually, he maintains a map of the SoCal hard tech landscape, and it's something that my team has liked to reference and look at to see the growth across this ecosystem on the West Coast, as well as how it really kind of concentrates around the talent coming out of these really transformative companies.
Yeah. What do you feel about the talent flywheel of a podcast host? No, I'm just playing, Grace. In Southern California.
I will flip that one to you.
I'm just playing. No, I just love it. That's a great term. I'm in. Well, Grace, this has been a lot of fun having you on the show today and getting to know more about Marlin Spike Partners. If somebody wants to follow up, they want to learn more, connect, or follow the journey, how do they do that?
Oh, well, thank you so much. First of all, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and I've really enjoyed this conversation. It's one that's close to my heart. Absolutely would love if anyone wants to follow up. Feel free to reach out to my email, grace@marlinspike.us, or reach out to me on LinkedIn. Feel free to give me a shout, and I will be responsive and look forward to that conversation.
Fantastic. And for everybody listening, just so you know, we'll definitely put some links in the show notes. So you can just click on the links and head right on over. And speaking of the audience, if this is your first time with Mission Matters and you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe or follow button. This is a daily show. You heard me correct. Each and every day we're bringing you new content, new ideas, and hopefully new inspiration to help you along the way in your journey as well. So hit that subscribe or follow button. And Grace, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thanks again for coming on.
Thanks, Adam.